Crafty friend, it's me, Justine. Today I'm going to work with the large die and the small die. We're going to make some cards here today. This one is just right up my alley with the whole stitching theme. This is the large die of the month for April called Pins and Needle Jar. This one, if you grab it when it's a club item, is $27.50. But if you wait until it is perhaps a la carte, you're going to pay $40. So jump on it while it is on sale. Okay, I'm going to start with this jar. Now, if you're not interested in stitching, perhaps you would still want this one because of the jar. You could just cut off that pink area on the top and you could have a really cool mason jar that you could put flowers in. You could do like a fruit jam situation. You could put animals in there like the whale. I don't know. You can do a whole bunch of things with this jar. So I think that I am super excited to see what other people do with this jar and what I can do. I'm just thinking about some possibilities already, but I'm going to stick with the brief and go with the dies that came with it for today, just so I can give you a little look at what we're working with. And then I'm also using the 3D embossing folder of the month. Look at that. That looks like real needles on camera. That is so much dimension and I just think that is so pretty. Okay, anyway, we're gonna go with a really packed jar full of all sorts of stitching things. I'm gonna make the jar off of the card because I think that I'm gonna need some support underneath because this is going to be a lot of paper, and with using this wonderful embossing folder I don't want any lumps and bumps, so we're just gonna try it, I guess. We'll see. So for my layout of the actual inside of the jar, I do want to just kind of play around with some of these little pieces. I suppose I should finish putting some of these together, like these embossing little threads and then that little pin here. So I will quickly put those together. I tried to pull out my mirror cardstock anywhere I can, especially when I'm working with die sets. I just find the mirror cardstock is just kind of like the kiss at the end of a nice night. It looks so nice. Look at this jar and the scissors. I mean, these really look almost real thanks to the cardstock. So that's been really fun. And then these little embroidery floss things, I've been making a whole bunch. So there is going to be a catch-all video, oh dear, on my channel coming up in a couple days, and you'll see all sorts of fun things I made with this die specifically. I made a whole card that was just with this, so that's kind of fun. Maybe I'll show it at the end of this video. Why not? I will. I'm gonna do that. Just because you're watching this and maybe you want large die inspiration, so I will give it to you. Anyway, I'm using all Spellbinders paper, and then this is it's kind of like a flamingo color. I think that's a flamingo color, but it is from the spring pack. So if you want to go ahead and pick that up, you can recreate this card if you want. Now, the layering is kind of a delicate situation. My too much brain always wants to just shove everything in there and just have this big full card full of stuff, and it really doesn't need a whole bunch of stuff. So I tried to limit myself when die cutting and preparing for this card not to go too crazy and off the rails, because it doesn't need to be extra every time. It can just be simple. I'm saying that now, but I'm already thinking that this does not look simple, but okay. This one I think I'm going to have on the edge, kind of leaning up against the jar. I might not need two of these, but we'll see. And then maybe we'll tip it. I don't want it to look just like the example, because I want to give you something that is a little different so you have more inspiration to pull from. Okay, my thimble, it makes sense for it to be on the bottom. And then I'm going to have some of these on top. So we'll just pull those off to the side for now. Let's put that one in there somewhere. I think we'll have the needle in there as well. Now that will be like the example because the thread is supposed to go on the right because of the loopy-doopies. That's a technical term as well, if you are curious. Okay, I will just keep sticking things around. Oh, I love buttons, by the way. Buttons are so cute. I have a giant jar of buttons in my craft room, and I hope to incorporate those more. Again, once I'm settled in my new space, I feel like I'm going to be pulling for more things that I usually don't pull for when I'm crafting, just because I will be able to see it more. I'm sure I'm going to find some things that I've lost along the way. I'm really mad at myself because I've lost a couple die sets that I've wanted to pull from and work with, and I don't even know where they could be. Somewhere. Just leave it at that. But what can you do, you know? Okay, I think I'll stick that needle off to the side as well. And I'm thinking that's kind of my overall look. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. Things might move a little bit as I'm gluing, but that's going to be fine. I am going to speed this part up just a little bit so we're not here all day long with this video. I do have a small die card that I'm going to kind of assemble here after this one, and then I promised you I'd show you that other card. So I will pull that out before I start getting going. But my goodness, I've really loved this month. So anyway, stay tuned. I'll be back when I'm done assembling this. Alright, so I've finished adding all of the fun little bits and bobs. I am going to just set this kind of behind here and then add my little button on the bottom. But overall, this is looking so cute and I'm loving everything about it, especially the colors. I think this is such a fun club this month. I'm going to add this needle kind of on the side here, just kind of resting. I've been battling the mirror cardstock. I love it, but it does take a little bit of time for that glue to stick onto the cardstock, so it's always kind of a little bit of a challenge for me anyway. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my little pieces that I have on my desk with all of the items from this club, and I'm hoping that I can find a stamp sentiment that I already have done. Something tells me I already used it, which is making me a little irritated, but whatever. Alright, we're going to pivot my direction here, and I am going to use this as a Mother's card. Now, this won't be a Mother's Day card because I already have my Mother's Day card, like I've said in a previous video. But this is going to be just a thank you nice card from my mom. And the sentiment, Mom, thanks for everything, does fit what I'm going for here. So I'm going to go ahead and pop up my jar and then I'll add my sentiment on. Now, of course, my sentiment is better pressed. That was with the collection that just came out last month. That's called Mirror Arch. And that one had a Mother's Day better press sentiment in it. Actually, it had 2 Mother's Day and 2 for Father's Day, which is perfect because those are right around the corner. And then after, well, there's also a Mother's Day sentiment in Yana's collection that just came out, the Let's Celebrate collection. Super fun, an awesome collection. I don't even know how many cards I made with Yana's. I'm going to be using Yana's stuff, or I guess when this video's come out, it will be past tense. So I used Yana's collection with my Better Press Babes live video that Melanie and I just did on my channel. This month in April, it will be on Melanie's channel, so we do take turns hosting it. So it's just so fun. And you know, if you haven't watched any of those, make sure that you check it out. I do have the replays online, but basically we do some better pressing and then we give a giveaway every time. Last time it was for Spellbinders. This time I'll have Melanie tell you who our sponsor is for this next one. I don't want to spoil it just in case she wants to leave it as a surprise, but we've had Altenew be a sponsor before, LDRS, and now Spellbinders for March, and then in April here, Melanie will tell you who the sponsor is. But it's just so fun to be able to live craft so I can see Melanie, talk to Melanie, which is always just such a blast, and then also talk with you all in the comments in the chat as I am crafting. So that is just my favorite. So if you haven't watched any of those, make sure you do, and yeah, maybe you can win one of our giveaways in our next one. That would be fun. But I don't know, I'm continuing to be impressed with the Better Press system. I love that you can press and glimmer. I'm just kind of obsessed with it a little bit, and I think that's kind of why Melanie and I originally decided to start the Better Press Babes Facebook group, because it's awesome. I love it. And I just keep making it more and more, and just kind of playing around with my same supplies and getting such different results. I love the look of a press like this. This has been pressed, you can feel the texture, but I also love that you can glimmer with them. I feel like I'm getting kind of a 2-for-1 when I am crafting and purchasing any Better Press item, because it just feels like I'm getting a 2-for-1, which you are. And that to me makes my crafting budget go a little bit farther, and I think we all need that right now. Well, I won't speak for your budget, but my budget could need it needs aid. Anyway, most of the things I've been saving up for recently with my craft room have been kind of some organizational stuff. Not a lot of actual product, which isn't as exciting, but I know that once I'm back into my craft room, I will be super excited to organize and get things all set and ready to go. Oh my, that is a lot of foam, but I'm glad I went heavy on the foam so it can all be popped up. I think I do need to add a little glue under that needle. For whatever reason, it does not want to stay down. I think it's just the mirrored cardstock not drying. Maybe I'll add a little bit of weight on top of it. Okay, as that dries, I will get my foam ready to go. Now that little piece right there is very skinny, so I'm gonna grab some strip foam and kind of work my way around the M with that as my glue dries over there. Sometimes I find that I need to split this in half. Wow, I'm shaky. Weird. Maybe I need to go eat a snack or something. But when there's these little pieces, I do want them supported, so I do find that taking the extra second or two to add a little bit of foam that is just the right size definitely helps in the overall finished look of the card, especially if it's going to go in the mail and perhaps get a little bit squished. You know, we need all the support we can get. But, you know, I think this one won't even go in the mail since, like I said before, it's going to my mom. And maybe she'll put it in her sewing room. If you haven't checked out the video, I did post a video with my mom doing a little craft room tour of a quilt room. So if you're interested, you can go ahead and check that out. And then if you remember watching that, you might have saw that animal quilt that she was working on, and that just was finished in the long arm. So I'm going to have that in my house pretty soon, which I'm super excited about, and it'll be part of my craft room. So that'll be awesome. Anyway, I'll probably do a little update video maybe at the end of the summer, because as she starts sewing more and more, I'm sure she's going to have some updates for us with her craft room. Okay, and then I will add just a little more foam on the other side here. Again, just a little support is going to go a long way. I am just loving the colors on this. Pink and teal have been just everything for me with this month's clubs. I don't know really why I've been so gravitating toward those colors, but it's like the fruit punch color from Spellbinders. Oh boy, what are the other colors that I was using? Let me just look really quick, because to me it's exciting. I wanted to share. Okay, 4 colors. We have the white on the back is the snowdrift. The light pink is going to be the light pink from the color pack, the assorted pack. And then the dark teal here is called Lagoon. And then there's also the teal topaz, which is that light one. And then this sparkly paper is from the sparkle paper, that's the spring line. And then let's see what else. Oh, and then of course the gold and silver mirror cardstock there. So, and then I did use the Better Press paper for my Better Press sentiment, so that has a lot of depth to it. So I think that's all the colors that we will talk about. Okay, now for the small die, now I used it on a lot of projects. So the small die, again, I'll remind you, is this piece, which makes a bigger, like one of these for embroidery floss. And then it has these sentiments, and I've used these sentiments a lot on different cards. So on this card, I just wanted to show you what I made. And like I said before in my first video of this month about the stencils, I made some backgrounds. Look how pretty that is. I just love, love, love the stencil this month. So I made a bunch, and here's one today. And then at the catch-all video that I'll have in a couple days, I will be showing you how I use this stencil. So if you're interested, just stay tuned and you'll see it in a couple days. But I did do the thanks, I die cut that out from the back of my paper here. And then to really beef up this sentiment, I die cut it out twice with white paper and then once with this light pink, because I thought that that's what I would use, but I don't like the way the color looks there, so I'm going to go ahead and add that fruit punch color over the top, and to me that looks a little better for what I'm going with. So I'm going to glue that, but I will offset it so I can still see the other light pink underneath, but still have this bright color on top, because I do think that this is really the color that matches my ink blending. I want to make sure it's offset enough so it looks purposeful and so it doesn't look sloppy, because that's kind of a thing that I kind of think about when I am gluing different die cuts together, especially for big sentiments like this and beefing them up. I want it to look nice and strong and a good choice and not just kind of random. Okay, so we're going to have thanks here. It's going to be kind of wonky, and then it's going to say also thanks for all you do, and that's underneath. And could I have cut off the thanks on the stamp? Sure, but I didn't, so it technically says thanks for all you do, which is just fine for me. So if I'm giving somebody a thank you card, I really want to make sure they know that I am so thankful. And that sentiment came from the stamp set for this month. Same with these little hearts here. I'm going to tuck that one underneath. That's the same ink, oxide I used for the stencil background I used for my hearts and my teal sentiment here. So everything should match pretty good. I do want to make that heart just a little more wonky, that pink one. There we go. Okay, and then I have my needle and thread, and this is from that large die again. So we'll just get that all set and ready. And then I'll show you one more card that I made with the large die. And that one I went a little crazy with the embroidery floss packets, or die cuts, I guess is the best way to say that. But I love the result. Okay, my needle's gonna go right about there. I'll just kind of press it down gently and then let the glue do the rest of the work and stick on there for me. I do think I need a little bit of glue under there, and I'll grab my 2-in-1 and use the shovel to put it on. That's why I like using this 2-in-1 for the delicate little things like this. Instead of getting my hand all full of glue and having it smush out everywhere, using my 2-in-1 really is my best option. Okay, well now all that card needs is a card base on the back, so I will not do that on camera, and we're going to keep her moving with this video. So I have my 2 cards here, and then as promised, here is card number 3. And this one is really fun and playful. I use that large die, this piece here, wherever it is, here and here, and made a bunch of pink and kind of peachy embroidery floss bobbins, and then I added these little embellishments. These are from Spellbinders as well. This is the pink ones, so it's a light and dark pink. Again, it coordinates with the paper, which makes my heart so happy. And then you can see on the background I use the embossing folder. That's the 3D embossing folder of the month. So those two are kind of the same there. And then I used the sentiment, take it one stitch at a time, which is from the stitching clear stamp and die of the month. So here's a look at my 3 cards. I love how they all turned out. They're all just a little different from each other, so it was so fun to make a 5x7 card. I do like doing that and have been trying to make some more 5x7 cards. I'm assuming people are going to want to know about the jar size with the A2, so let me get to that because I was wondering at first too. So here is the die for that, and here is an A2 card base. So if you wanted to use this on an A2, you certainly could. There's just going to be a little bit over the top. You could take it a step further and die cut it like this and make a shaped card with the die. You could go slimline and put it kind of on a slim line and chop off this side. So there's some options for you. You could even go landscape like this, have a very fun full section off the top here, have little bits and bobs over here, put a sentiment. That would be so cute as well. Why didn't I do that? I don't know. But you know, I have the pieces, so I could do that now. So we'll just have to see, won't we? Anyway, come on back in a couple days. I'm going to do a video with the Better Press next, and then my next video for the clubs is going to be a catch-all. So if you're looking for more inspiration from this large and small die, or even the stencil, the embossing folder, the stamp, I'm going to have some more. So stay tuned and be sure that you subscribe to my channel so you can be notified when a new video comes up. I would absolutely love to know your favorite one here today. I think my favorite has to be this one because this is just such a star of the show here. And knowing that it's for my mom makes it extra special. That is one of my favorite parts about card making, is making a card for someone I know and kind of just knowing that. I mean, I know it's from my mom. She's a purple gal, and I didn't put purple on this, but I know that she loves sewing, so she's going to love this. Anyway, let me know your favorite in the comments. Is it the thanks with the really fun sentiment, or is it the crazy die cuts with this one? Let me know. I would love to know. If you have any questions about the clubs, I did post a video this month for the month of April that kind of explains all the clubs and shows you what they all are. So if you missed that, you can check out that video. It's about 10 minutes long. It's nothing crazy here. I know my videos have been kind of collaborated. I yay. I think I need to take a break. My videos have been a lot of collaboration between 2 or 3 different clubs, and that's really because Spellbinders is making things that coordinate so well. So that is what we're going with. So hopefully you don't mind the combining of the videos, or collaborating, I think is what I said before. Okay, anyway, happy April, and we'll see you next time. Bye, crafty friend.